So you're thinking about moving to Fort Worth, Texas? Well, in this video, we are going to be taking a look at the best suburbs of Fort Worth. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to give you a little hidden gem.
And if this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to know what's happening in the Texas real estate market, go ahead and hit that bell.
Welcome to the channel. My name is Tom Jung.
And I'm Jack Lisenby.
And we're your local Dallas Fort Worth real estate agents. And it's just, whether you're a few days or a few months out, we get phone calls all the time from folks just like you. So don't hesitate to give us a call, shoot us a text, or schedule a Zoom call, which we love, and the little button on the YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was very descriptive. So today we're going to be talking about different suburbs in Fort Worth. There are so many good ones. This is a series. So this is our first episode. We're going to be looking at neighborhoods that are near downtown. So this is going to be more central Fort Worth in this episode. And if you're watching this as you watch along, please let us know what's important to you in a neighborhood. So if you're somebody that's looking to move here, we want to know what's important to you. That way, in our future episodes, we can make sure if we didn't hit it in this one, we'll hit it in another one. So please do let us know. But so kicking it off, let's talk about Monticello. And I'm really hoping I pronounced that right. I have heard people say Monticello, but I am not Italian, so I don't know. Actually, I should know as a Fort Worth.
I've heard it both ways. I call it Monticello, just because the name of the park, Monticello Park.
Yeah, we could be wrong. Anyways, it's a very eclectic neighborhood. Originally there were a lot of, the history on this is fascinating if you're a history buff. But basically, back in the day, a lot of these homes were built in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, and the lifestyle was much different, right? So everything, like, people wanted to be able to walk to the store and everything else. And so for that reason, there's a couple of things that make this neighborhood really cool. Number one is the style of homes. So you have a lot of these older homes, which I just feel like the architecture was way more detailed back in the day. Yeah. You're also close to the Trendy River, and because of all the proximity to the shopping, it's fairly close to Camp Bowie, which still has a bunch of these little shops and things like that, which make it really nice. And the location is superb. Like, you're a few minutes from downtown, and so much shopping and restaurants and everything else. So it's like, it's like you have all of this, but as soon as you turn into the neighborhood, it's peaceful and quiet, and you have these huge trees and all that kind of stuff. And then you also have some new homes. Like, a lot of times, these old homes, if they're not taken care of, they end up just knocking them down and building these mansions. So you really have everything. I think the prices in there start from around $400,000 and they go over $1 million, depending on, if you're buying an old school house or, a giant mansion that looks like it's out of a movie. So big draw to this area is the location. The schools are actually pretty decent as far as Fort Worth goes. Fort Worth is not known for having just a stellar school district. It's okay.
It'll get you to college.
And we get a lot of our information from niche.com, so if you're interested, you can check it out there. But their elementary school is North High Mount Elementary, which is a mouthful, and that is a B+, which is like top of the line as far as elementary schools go here in the Fort Worth area. Stripling Middle School came in at a B-, and Arlington Heights High School, Arlington Heights, everybody calls it Arlington Heights, came in at a B. So those are the schools you're going to be looking at if you got kids that are going to go to school there.
Yeah. Well, another great area, not too far from Monticello, actually, is Linwood, and also named after a park, Linwood Park. It sits right in the middle of this little area here.
It was probably named after a person.
It probably was. I like to think it's named after the park, because that's how I remember it, but same with Monticello.
You knew the park before you knew the neighborhood.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And but it's actually right across the university over by the West 7th area, so if anyone who's familiar with the area, it's by like the Montgomery Plaza and all of that. But it mostly consists of actually a lot of newer homes, condos, and things like that, because they started building up a lot of that area fairly recently. There was a couple stick homes in the area, but they ended up knocking them down because they were just old, dilapidated, no one taking care of them. And it's such a sought after area. The housing itself, you're going to be looking at stuff as far back as like the 40s and 50s in some cases, but the vast majority of it started back in 2017. These 2,200, 2,600 square feet houses ish in that area.
Townhomes.
In townhomes.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like there was this, I know too much about this, but there was a commercial developer that came in and started buying up all these old school houses because the values used to be very low over there.
Oh yeah.
And then they started building all these townhomes because of all the development that was happening in the area, the commercial development.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in 2017, all these townhomes started to pop up, and I was like, what's going on over here?
I think it's been, we've had a lot of our medical clients, like traveling doctors and stuff like that. It really seems to attract that kind of crowd. So it's these will cost you about like $500,000 to $600,000, which isn't bad considering where they are. Honestly, you're right next to West 7th. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's like a really happening area. So you've got walkable shops, you've got all sorts of restaurants and things to do. Montgomery Plaza alone is great. There's a ton of stuff there. So the big draw for that one is just walkability again. And these schools actually, they're going to be the same as Monticello. So you've got North High Mount Elementaries, Stripling Middle School, and Arlington Heights High.
Yeah, and if you just jumped on the video for that part of it, they'll all be in the B range.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, so like just to expand a little bit on that area, this is probably one of the very few neighborhoods that you can live in and walk to everything if you wanted to walk there in 107 degrees during the summer.
Crazy.
Yeah, maybe get an air-conditioned bicycle or something, I don't know. But so like Montgomery Plaza has restaurants, coffee shops, they've got a hair salon,
escape room.
Yeah, there's a Target in that shopping center, a Chick-fil-A.
There's like an AT&T store, I think, as well.
Yeah, and then on the other side of West 7th, you've got all the restaurants that you mentioned in the bars, and there's a LA Fitness. So I mean, it's honestly, there's like only like 2 or maybe 3 places where you can really live and walk to things, and that's probably got the most. So that is that's why it made our list as far as one of the top neighborhoods in Fort Worth. Cool. And then next we've got Tanglewood. So reason we went to Tanglewood here is a couple reasons. Very active, and it's got the best elementary school in Fort Worth. So that's a huge draw to this area, and it's a beautiful place. Like they have Overton Park, which is like this long stretch, and there are people out all the time walking their dogs, hanging out, playing catch, whatever you do outside. Not really flying kites. There's too many trees.
Yeah.
I guess that's a great part of it. Like you have all these tall shaded or tall oak trees that give you so much shade in that park. And then there's also a tennis court. I think there's two tennis courts at the end of the park. And the community is like super active. Like there's a Facebook group, Tanglewood Moms, that like they have block parties, parades. They have grown-up gatherings. Just all kinds of cool stuff. So it's very active. And I think that's a lot of times it's hard to find. Like people are so busy, you get into these cookie cutter communities, and a lot of times you don't know one another. So if you're looking for an active community, that's a good one to be in. And as far as the schools go, Tanglewood Elementary is an A-, which is the best in Fort Worth. So I mean, as far as schools go, that's crushing it. So or public schools, I should say. We have a lot of charters and privates. And McLean. Middle school is the middle school, and it's a B, and they have the top high school in Fort Worth as well, Pascal High School, at an A- rating. So and as far as the housing goes, it's mostly single family homes. There's like a few townhomes on Hewlin, which is right next to this like little shopping center. And a lot of the lots are larger. They're going to be probably a 1/4 acre to a 1/2 acre. There are a few that are larger than that. And most of the homes are going to be large family homes. They're going to start at about 2,000 square feet and go up to about 5,000 square feet. There's a lot of these that are built in the 1940s. So like in the 1940s, these are like mansions, right? In 1940s and 60s. And then, as always, you've got a lot of them that were knocked down, and they've built these big homes. As far as the location goes, it's south. I should have started with this. It's just south of downtown. And it's next to TCU. I think TCU is probably a 5-minute drive from there, depending on where you live. And a ton of restaurants are close to the Trinity River. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you're super close to Clear Fork, which is a big high-end shopping center in that area. So it's just location-wise, you can't beat it.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
It's like the heart of, it's like at the heart of Fort
It's a
Worth,
really
I
pretty
guess.
neighborhood too.
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So, but yeah, those are our top 3 picks near the downtown area. But
Yeah. And well, I mean, congrats for you guys sticking around to the end of the video, because we got a little special something for you. So if you're looking at, if these didn't wet your whistle, we got something that might just do it. And it's called Edwards Ranch, Riverside. So we had mentioned Clear Fork here a second ago, and there's no actual residency in Clear Fork. Like there's apartments, but you can't like buy property there for residential use.
super exclusive.
Yeah, I know, right? So the actual closest you can get is this neighborhood here, and it's not a huge neighborhood. It's like a bend, really. It's 2 streets, and they kind of do this curve around the outside of Clear Fork, so it's just to the southwest of it. But these houses are big, like 4,000 to 5,000 square feet.
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge
huge.
houses.
And it's really difficult to get into them because they're also much newer houses. They started building in like 2013, so nothing's older than 10 years at this point by the time we're recording this video. And they're going to cost you about $1 to $2 million, but man, is it going to be worth it, because these things are nice. Like I'm talking, they've got like stone walls around some of these yards and stuff like that. Like, you know, some people have a fence outside their yard. I've never seen somebody with a gate, like a double door gate, like Jurassic Park style, in front of their house.
Yeah, no, it's it
is really nice. And
it's
being
sick.
close to Clear Fork, you've got the trails over there. They have all sorts of events and things over at that little that dirt lot outside of Clear Fork. I forget what it's called. Right
Oh,
there
it's
on
right
the
next
road.
to Press Cafe.
Yeah. It's like parking for all sorts of outdoor activities and events and shows and whatnot. So, and
Yeah.
I mean, you're right off of Hewlin as well. So it's a very sought after area, and very little people know about it, honestly.
Yeah, and it's right there on the Trinity River. So like Fort Worth, you know, I don't know if you're just watching this video, you may not know this. So Fort Worth has done a lot in terms of taking care of the area around the Trinity River, and there's like I don't know how many miles of biking trails and everything else, but
Hundreds.
yeah, so there's like so you don't even have to get in your car. You can probably jump on your bike or whatever and just pedal right out to the Trinity River, because it's technically a park surrounding it. I don't know.
I think they classify it as like as a park area, but
area?
it's not
Yeah.
like a typical park as you would think. But I almost glossed over this. Your schools are going to be the same as with Tanglewood. So since they're right next to each other, your kids are going to be going to Pascal High School and McLean Middle School. But they have one notable exception, and that's Overton Elementary School, which is actually a very new one that just recently popped up. So this one doesn't have a rating yet. We'll have to see how that pans out, but being new, it's going to have a lot more resources dumped into it than maybe some of the older schools will, so it's probably a good start.
The scuttlebug on the street, is it scuttlebug?
The scuttlebutt?
But
Yeah.
scuttlebutt on the street it's going to be one of the nicest elementary schools. It's going to be on par with Tanglewood.
Ooh.
So, but yeah, as far as like niche.com goes, they don't have enough data yet. I think it's been open. I think it opened last year.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's all we got for this episode of Best Suburbs of Fort Worth, or Best Neighborhoods of Fort Worth. First time we're figuring it out. Anyways, we got lots more coming. So if you are interested in Fort Worth proper, we're going to have more neighborhood videos. And if you're not, we have lots of suburb videos. So please do subscribe if you thought the information was helpful. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.